Okay, so my cultural artifact is this license plate that is hanging up in my garage currently. It isn't necessarily just about the license plate in itself, but more about what Sisu represents. Sisu has been a very important concept for overcoming adversity, especially in Finnish culture, but also for my family and for me. So what is Sisu? Sisu is a Finnish word. There isn't really a true English translation for it, but in its simplest terms, it means one's inner strength. I did find this definition off a blog called Sisu Lab. I think it does do a very good job of expressing what Sisu does mean, but I'll just summarize it for you. Sisu basically means extraordinary determination in the face of extreme adversity. And so throughout Finnish history, it's taken on a lot of different meanings, but it wasn't really until after the Winter War that it kind of came to mean something more. It was a way for Finns to characterize themselves for the determination and courage they faced during warfare and extreme winters. And so this term sort of united Finnish people together and gave them a mindset to embrace challenges and to persevere through them. And so my dad likes to tell this story about my great-grandfather, who is this kid right here. His parents were immigrants from Finland. But the story goes that my great-grandfather was working up on a telephone pole. He was a lineman, and he was changing out these lines, and the wood at the bottom of this telephone pole was actually rotted. And so the pole comes falling down, my grandpa on top of it, and it crushes his back. And so for a man at the time that's trying to support a family, like, this is a very devastating thing to happen where he can't go and work and support his family anymore. And I mean, even just recovering from injuries can be hard mentally and physically. And so this was really a challenge for him to face. But what he did do is he had one of his buddies go out and get him a piece of this wood. And while he was recovering, he carved out these wooden decoy ducks that he was going to use for hunting. And this really characterizes and shows to me, like, how we don't have to be subject to the circumstances and the situations that we are in, and that we can find opportunity in the challenges that we face, and like that to me is what Sisu means. And so I had my own experience facing some of this adversity last year around the same time, where I lost one of my friends. And it was the first time that I'd ever really experienced loss and grief, and I found myself afraid to talk to people and tell people what I was going through. And so fast forward about a month later, I'm actually here at a softball camp, and I noticed that day that it had been 1 month since my friend had passed away. And so I was kind of having a hard time with it. And so I go to the camp, I play absolutely horribly, and I decided after the game that I was going to tell my dad, like, that I was having a hard time and I was struggling with it. And the first thing my dad said to me was, you know, have you told anybody what you're going through? And my response was, no, I don't want anybody's pity. And he kind of said something to me that day, though, that changed my whole perspective on the whole thing. And he said, Elise, you don't got to tell everybody everything, but it's not about not wanting pity. It's just that maybe you want some understanding. And so I thought about that. I thought about, you know, Sisu and persevering through these challenges and the loss that I was facing. And, you know, I realized that Sisu isn't just about persevering, but finding strength in your vulnerability and having the courage to talk to people about what you're going through. And so, you know, Sisu has been a very impactful thing for, you know, Finnish culture, for my family and for me. But it's also taught me that it isn't just about being able to do the hard things. It's about having the courage to say the hard things as well. Thank you.